Hello there, it's Carrie Rhoades. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today's project is part of a blog hop with Spellbinders celebrating the club kits for the month of May. I am showcasing the Kaleidoscope Card Creator die set to create a slimline card. Here are the three colors of cardstock I'm going to be using to die cut these outer pieces that will make a frame for my slimline card. Now when I die cut these out, I find it's easiest to have the point going through the die machine first rather than a flat edge. I also found that I like the use of a very light shim for my die cutting machine, the thickness of like copy paper. Now when I remove these from their die, I like to have a little bowl and just rub my tool over the back of them and poke out the excess, and that collects all the bits and pieces for these dies because we need to die cut quite a few pieces to create a slimline card, and this helps to contain the mess a little bit. Speaking of a lot, we want 4 of each of the corner pieces and 8 of each of the side pieces. And there's 3 layers to create one corner. So what I'm going to do to glue my 3 layers together to make one corner is take a little bit of liquid glue and thin that out with water on a piece of acetate or window sheet, and then I'll apply that to the back of my die cut with a paintbrush that's not like my super special paintbrush. And then I can stick that together. It's intricate, and so using a paintbrush really helps, and then smashing it down with a paper towel helps me to collect any glue that might seep out around the edges. So I'll repeat that to add on my 3rd layer. And I have started with my lightest cardstock and then went to a medium shade and then the darkest for these. And now I have my 4 corners. Look how gorgeous that is layered up. Now these side pieces or connector pieces, as I like to call them, also layer up. So there's 3 pieces to create this connector piece. So I'm doing the same exact thing, applying the glue with my paintbrush and then adding on the layer. And I can hold the little tabs when I'm doing this so that I don't get too much glue on my fingers. So there are my 8 connector pieces and my 4 corners. Now my slimline card is going to measure 9 by 8 inches and it's scored at 4 inches. I'm actually not going to glue my pieces onto the card. I just felt safer if I glued it onto a panel. So my panel is 9 inches by 4 inches. I'm going to start by gluing on one of the corners. Kind of wishing I would have saved my watered down glue, but I went for it with my regular glue tube. So I'll press that into place in the corner like as tight as I can get it into that corner and flush with the edge on the top and the side. Now I will add the second corner piece, and I realize I need to trim off just a hair of that connector piece in order for this to fit on my 4-inch wide paper. And then I'll press that into place so that it's flush with the top and sides of the panel, and then press a little or put a little glue onto that ring and press that down onto the connecting piece. And now I'll add the side pieces, pressing those into place, making sure they're flush with the edge of the card. So there'll be 4 down each of the sides. I'll tuck that one under the ring. So the rings are always on top and the circle is always on the bottom. I'll add the rest of those side pieces and then my 2 final corner pieces. And you can see that this creates a great border for this slimline card. I will say you want to get your ring and your circle connector pieces as close to each other as you can in order for this to fit on your card. And there is the frame. Isn't it gorgeous? All right, I've die cut all the other pieces from this die set, and I'm going to layer up these die cut flowers on top of this smaller frame. I've started my base with my lightest color of cardstock, and the middle layer is actually the darkest shade of cardstock that I picked out. And then the top piece is that mid-layer, mid-tone color. Yeah. That's what I'm going to call it. It is Summer Days cardstock to be exact. And the darkest is Haystack and the lightest is Pineapple Smoothie. I will have all the things I'm using listed and linked for you below. Now I'm going to Glimmer hot foil a sentiment onto this panel. Since I already die cut it, I thought I would show you how I would Glimmer hot foil something that's already die cut, because you could Glimmer hot foil your cardstock and then die cut it out, but I was just all excited and die cut all my things. So I'm taking that negative piece from die cutting this and placing it on my plate, putting my Glimmer hot foil plates on my machine so that the plate is face up right inside that frame. Then I'm going to take some Aura foil, which by the way is my favorite Glimmer hot foil, trimming that so it's about the size of my cardstock where I want my sentiment to be. Then I'll lay my foil pretty side down, and then I can line up my die cut with that negative piece, that frame, so to speak. I'll press the timer on my machine, put the plates on, and let that sit till the timer goes off. Once that light is solid, I know it's done and I can run this through my die machine. I like to roll it forward and back, and very slowly, by the way. All right, so now we can see the beautiful hot foiled sentiment. I love it. Now there is a little bit of extra foil on here. It didn't it's not extra foiling, but extra foil, and I can just brush that away with a stiff paintbrush. Now I'm cutting that frame in half because I want half to be on one side of my sentiment panel and the other half to be on the opposite side. So I'm going to glue that into place, kind of using my grid mat to help me and get that evenly spaced between the two ends. I'll press that down and then add the second side. Once that is done, I'm going to just set it aside for a moment while I add my border panel to my Slimline card, gluing that in place. And then I'm going to add this frame on that has my sentiment with some foam squares. So I've used large and small ones so I could have some on the end of those flower petals. So I'm going to try and center this on here. I think it could have gone over to the right a little bit more, but you know, it's going to be just fine. I am then adding some pearls to the center of those flowers on each corner and the flowers on my sentiment. And then I'll add a few more pearls just for accent, coming off the points of those flowers. And I think having them go from the smallest or the largest to the smallest is a really fun effect for this card. And it's really fun to make a pretty card, an elegant card. I really just love how this card turned out. I think this die set is fabulous. It's a really good set from this kit of the month. I love it. So I thought the little circles, the connector pieces, needed a little something extra. So I brought in some Journey Glaze and I'm going to fill in those circles. It's just something a little bit shiny. I'm not adding something too bulky or too flashy, but it really just helps to finish off those circles. And I always love to add glaze to my cards, so it was a no-brainer for me. And that finishes up today's card. I hope that you have enjoyed it and have a new idea to use with this die set to make a Slimline card. Also, if you are interested in winning a $25 shopping spree to the Spellbinders shop, make sure you click the link in the description below and head over to my blog, leave a comment there, and you could win. Winners will be announced on the 31st on my blog. Also, if you'd like a chance to win a $50 shopping spree, make sure you click over to the Spellbinders blog for this hop and leave a comment there. I have all the links to all the stops for this hop listed for you below. I hope that you will check them out. I will be back again very soon with another video for you. Happy stamping! Bye!